Well, the cut boards have been sitting in the shop for a few days, stickered up so air movement can get around them equally. And they're currently at 1.11", and I want to get to 1.9", maybe 1.5". And so what I'll do now is go back through the stack and look for anything that isn't remained flat. It's not abnormal for after you make the initial machining and let it sit for a while that there will be a little bit of movement, and now that's a second chance to get it flattened out. Everything's now been through the joiner the second time. It was pretty consistent that I was joining the opposite side as I jointed the first time. So I used a different color pencil to write F on it. Now I'll run it through the planer, taking it to 1 5/8, take a look at it, and then do another pass. It's better to do lighter passes than heavy passes. Now that I got all the boards planed to 1 9/16, I've laid them out here with the three pieces from each individual board grouped together. And I've gone through them and looked for defects and marked them out. Like here is a light wood here, that's sapwood that I'll need to rip off, and kind of been through the whole thing. So the next step will be to joint one edge and rip the sapwood off so I know what I have for usable thickness of the board. And then I can begin to figure out the layout for each top. Now that I got the boards ripped down into what's going to be usable widths, it's important just to take some time and look at the color difference and the grain difference and begin to select what orientation or what boards are going to be together. This is an area that takes a little time but makes quite a difference. If something is well done, probably your eye's going to look at it and you don't notice. If it's just haphazardly put together, you're probably apt to see some contrast and it may not be as pleasing to the eye. So I've grouped these boards together to make one top and these boards together to make the other. And then I'll begin to joint the edges and figure out exactly what the layout is going to be. With this camera view, you can see the difference between the two tops. And this is 2 boards in here and 2 boards in here. You can see this one has a straighter grain and maybe a little bit more to the brown hue. This one has a little more ray fleck and maybe is a little more towards the orange side. When you go and stain this, it'll be less noticeable, but if the boards were mixed, it would be more obvious. And if I use an example here, then you can see how that really sticks out. I've got the pieces down to the rough size and laid them out for optimal grain matching, and I've taken them to the joiner and surfaced each edge so that when I put it together, all the seams are nice and tight. And you see there's just no gaps, so that'll make really well. I put this as it's a little extra long, so I'll be cutting this off, but that's okay. I've currently got 25 inches to work with and probably about 30 this way. So I've got a little bit that I can trim off both sides and both ends to work with. Now to keep these together and oriented this way, I'll use a furniture maker triangle. And that will assure that I can put the boards back together in the same orientation. Well, I've got the boards jointed and oriented for the second top, so I'll line it up and put another furniture maker's square on it to keep track of them. Close-up look at the boards. To aid in alignment and give it the glue joints a little bit more reinforcement, I'm going to be using dominoes between the joints. That'll help line it up. And I'm just going to use 3, doesn't need to be that many, and I need to keep them in from the edge where I'm going to cut so I don't cut into them. This is 29 inches, so we'll probably be somewhere in here. Kept them in 3 inches and 1 in the center, so I'll go through and mark that. The domino machine has the ability to cut slots that are exactly the size of the domino or oversized, and that just makes glue ups a little easier. So I'm going to do the ones on the end is going to be exact fit, then I'll have an exact fit here and a loose one here, and that'll just give me a little bit of forgiveness when I'm gluing up. Now that I got all the domino mortises cut, I'll confirm that I have a good dry fit just to be sure I didn't miss anything. Putting glue in the mortise slots for the dominoes efficiently can be a bit of a challenge to get good coverage. Rockler makes these devices that screw on the largemouth glue containers that allow you to go in and squeeze the glue in and it kind of spreads it around. It's a pretty handy device. To having a successful glue up, it's always good to dry fit everything, make sure it fits, which I have done. And then to gather all the supplies you need so they're quick at hand. And I've got all my clamps, I've got the glue applicators that I want, I've got a dead blow hammer if something is resistant to go together, a wet cloth to wipe up any excess glue if needed, and kind of think through the process of how you're going to do it. And that's what makes it less stressful and usually successful. Well, the first glue up of the first top went really smoothly. Everything just went as planned. I'll let this sit in the clamps for probably an hour or so. Then I'll loosen these top ones and scrape the excess glue off before it hardens really stiff, because sometimes it can pull the fibers of the wood. But then I'll do the next glue up once these are out of the clamps.